Guys, this is Coach Kita Bussy with 180 Firearms Training Podcast. Today we have Maria Gushchina from Russia. She finished top 6 at the World Shoot, and she is going to share some training tips. So stay tuned. This is 180 Firearms Training Podcast. Привет, Masha.
Привет, Kita.
So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell the world who you are.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Maria Gushchina. I'm 3 times IPC world champion and European champion, multiple times Russian national champion. And I'm here, join Kita with the interview and ready to answer your questions.
Awesome. So you finished top 6 in production at the World Shoot. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, of course. It was 2017. It was a World Shoot in France. And, I think many years passed already, but it was maybe my best match, as I can say, and best result, because I've never done it before and I've never dreamed about it. Because top 6 is quite a lot, and I finished with 98%. And I never did it at the World Shoot. For example, my previous World Shoot, it was in Florida, and I made something about 85%. So it was like plus 13%, and it was a huge result. So I was so happy. And to be in the top 6 all over the world, it was such a big pleasure for me and shock. So of course it was fantastic result, fantastic match. And I hope I will try to do my best to do it even better next time.
Now, this was not top 6 women. This is top 6 overall in production. And yes, that's amazing. So in IPSC, they call the top 6 the Super 6. And a lot of times there's a shoot off after the match. Did you have a shoot off at the World Shoot?
Yeah, of course. We did a World Shoot like a usual shoot off. And also there was a shoot off Super 6, where 6, the best shooters shoot few stages, I think 3 stages. And so the only one winner could be. So first of all, there starts 6 person. Then after each stage, they put off 2 shooters. So at the second stage, there would be just 4 shooters. And at the finals, there are just 2 shooters. And so in the end, you have a winner. So also I took part in it. And of course, in usual shoot-off, in ladies and in overall. So it was fun.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I like that. So it's like at the end of the match, after you're done, the top 6 people get to go shoot for the title.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It's a big fun, and you have such a big stress there because of the match, after one day you're becoming to become, and you're all your squad and you're okay. So it's not such a big stress. But when you do it only once with lots of people around who are watching you and who came to see how you shoot, because all other days they shot with their squads and they didn't see you. So many of them are coming. They're waiting, for example, to see how I shoot for years, and they come and they want to see. So it's such a big stress and pressure mentally. So it's really a cool feeling.
Yeah, and that Super 6 shoot off is really fun to watch because they put a timer up on the stages a lot of times, so you can see what their time is. Everyone gathers around to watch them shoot. And the shooters are taking more risks because the match is over. So now you get to just shoot for fun and take all the risks, and you really lay it all out there. How did you place at that one?
Those are like for the gram stages. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes,
You just like pedal
pretty much.
I like that. Yeah, that sounds like fun. So how did you do? How did you do with that?
I remember that I won like a usual shoot-off. I won in ladies. And I remember that I took part in men shoot-off. And I did some stupid mistake. And my teammate put me off. His name is Pavel. So we were together with him. So he just he just won. So I did not. And at the shoot of Super 6, I remember that I won ladies for sure. But man, I don't really remember how long I was in the game, you know? But I remember that there were very difficult stages. There was one of the longest stage with the very long distances, and it was really very hard. And in overall, that world shoot was pretty hard. I was shocked when I saw it. It was not just so easy as, for example, world shoot in Florida, as I remember. If to compare France and Florida, Florida was easy.
Right.
So France was very hard.
How long have you been training to get to the level that you're at? How long have you been doing it? How old are you and like all that kind of stuff?
I'm 26 right now, and I started when I was 11. But, you know, wow. I can say that, yes, but, you know, right now the time changed. But that time, I think till my 15, it was cool for me to use guns. But me and my parents cannot think about some result because I was so young, so small, and I didn't have so much strength, you know, in my muscles and so on. So I can't hold my gun tight, and I had such a big recoil. So I'm not speaking about big results. But when I turned 16, you know, the life changed totally in shooting, because immediately I started to win some titles and I started to shoot good. So I think before this time, it was just good for safety, for trigger control, and for stuff like that. But when I speak about result, the great result starts from 16. And so I can say that like a training process, like strong training process and so on, I'm doing for 10 years now. So
is that something where like you started winning and then you started taking it more seriously, or was that something that was kind of always in the cards where you were like, okay, now I'm a little older, I want to start doing this more seriously, and then you started winning? Or did the results like bring around like the more serious training and like?
No, you know, it's a little bit different. For example, when I started to shoot, it was just for fun, you know, I did it because I liked it. But when you start to do results, it's like a drug, you know, you want to have this feeling again and again, and you want to be better and better. And the training process changed because you started to put some higher goals. For example, if before, for me, some training things were okay, if I do it better or worse, and it was normal, so it was okay for me. But till that time, till 16th, it was not normal. I wanted to do it better and better, and my coach expected some better results at the training and at the competitions. So it was not just about my serious thoughts about this, that you know, I didn't take shooting so seriously. I didn't think that I will train someone and so on, but just for myself, I wanted, because every one of us are a little bit egoists, you know, we want to be the best and so on. So this is the same. So you just want to be the best, and that's all. So you start to train hard and push yourself.
Yeah.
So what
awesome.
are some
awesome on your parents? You know, your parents have really been big support then, I guess, throughout your whole shooting career. You know, that's great.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
What are some things that you do in your training with firearms that you feel really help you to win and to be successful?
You know, I can say that the most important thing, everyone do this mistake. They think that practical shooting is just about the speed, and if you will be quite fast, it doesn't matter what points you have, how you move, and so on. But that's totally not true. Every shooter forgets that the first thing you have to put attention to is your
accuracy.
Point. Yes, accuracy. That you have to be accurate. And you know, I have some students who come to me and they're like, I'm super fast, I'm super cool, I'm so good. And you know, they come to me and I do some stage for them and saying like, so okay, show me what you know and so on, how you'll do it. So they run fast, they do some crazy stuff, And I'm watching that, and then I'm asking like, did you want to make me shocked or surprised? You thought that like after this speed I will say like, whoa, you are so speedy, you know, like
that's got to
no
crush
one will
some
be
egos. That's got to crush
yeah,
some egos.
I mean like no one will be surprised if you are a professional shooter, so you won't surprise someone with a good speed, with a fast speed, you know. Lots of good shooters, they do this fast speed. The most important thing, if you do it accurate, and with fast shooting you still have lots of alphas and less charges and so on, or you do it fast but you have like couple of misses and lots of deltas and you crash the stage, you know. This is the main point.
All right, well, would you agree with though that running a gun slow and running a gun fast are two totally different feelings? Like it's not to me it's two different things. Like you got to be able to kind of get the dot, you know, if you're using a dot or
for sure. And you know, first of all, when someone comes to me for training, I say everyone, don't try to do all the stuff very fast at the beginning when I explain something. Try to do everything so slow, because when you do everything from the first steps slow, you remember how your finger work, how the trigger work. You feel all the millimeters of it, because when you do it fast, your brain cannot feel those differences. But when you do it slowly from the beginning, your brain starts to understand. So like, here it works like this, here like this. And then step by step, speed comes fast. But first of all, the base has to be very, very good, you know? So that's why better to start slow and accurate. And then it will be like this, you know, how fast you'll start to shoot. But first of all, your brain and your body has to understand how it works. Because when you don't know, you don't really realize. You just do it, you know how it's like it's like a casino. When you don't feel the gun, it's like, here right now I win, then I lose, and you don't know how it works. But when you know the stuff, like some points which can make you win, so you will win. It's not like a roulette or something like this. So that's why you have to be sure, you have to make everything slow, step by step, and speed will come. But everyone forget about it mostly.
Okay, so
that's interesting to me though, because I usually find people get stuck in a rut. You know, they find that they'll shoot a bunch of alphas at a certain speed, and then they, you know, they'll start to push it a little bit, and all of a sudden they'll have a few Charlies or a Delta or a Mike, and they'll go back to that speed, and they'll never, you know, once people get comfortable shooting alphas at a slow speed, I find that they get stuck there kind of, and they never really want to get out of their comfort zone because they really like shooting alphas. But I find that some people don't put an emphasis enough on speed. But maybe that's just a difference between IPSC and USPSA.
But you know, one also interesting thing, I have a student and he wants to do everything very fast, everything. Like I'm saying him to do this, for example, some transitions, and he starts to do very fast and shoot very fast, and he makes some multiple shots and reshots. And so I told him, okay, I'll show you how you have to do it. So I stand, it was a beep, so I did it, and then I realized for myself I did it so slow, like without any speed. For me, I saw everything. Especially for him, I tried to show everything super slow. But when I turned and saw his face, like he was, and it was slow, but for me it was slow, you know, because I felt everything. Everything was under the control. For him, of course, right now it's very fast. But if he would start to do also everything slow, he will understand the process, how he see the sides, feeling the trigger. So for him, it also would be easy. But at this point, I did it. It was for me very slow, but for him, it was super fast. And like, you know, and I know that I could do it even faster. So I didn't try to do it fast. So this is the point. So you have to, from step by step, the speed will come.
And even as you progress in your skill, I think sometimes taking away the timer, just focus on doing everything properly is a good idea instead of always pushing for that speed to beat that timer. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Because usually, if to say the truth, when I use a timer at the training, I'm not always watching the time. Sometimes it's just a beep, you know, a signal, which makes you start to do something. And just sometimes when I really have to, for example, I know that I did some skill, I learned it and I want to see the progress. So of course, now I will start to look at the timer, but at the beginning and even in the middle, I don't use a timer as a timer with the final time. Sometimes it's just a beep. And then I can already try, for example, to do it in slow, then a little bit faster to push myself and see the time difference, see the points, see the result, you know. But the timer sometimes is just a beep, and sometimes it makes you, it makes your brain, it's like a test, show you if you have to still be a little bit down, you know, to keep calm, to shoot points. Or for example, you see that, I don't know, 1 week ago you have longer time at transitions, and now you have a shorter constantly, and you don't lose your points, so you can push and go further, you know. So it's, the timer is a good thing, but you have to know how to use it and not always to push yourself. So
now the first time,
how does that translate to a match though? So that's one thing I was talking about. So like, how do you ride that line? Like, what's like day one, stage one, like what's your feeling going into that stage, and then versus like, you know, day 2 or day 3? Are you a little bit more conservative coming out of the gate, or are you a little aggressive, or like how does that work in a match for you?
Look, at the match, I really don't like to see the result at the match. For example, some shooters look results of each other. I'm trying not to do this. For example, if I feel that I'm doing good and I shoot good, so I try not to watch. But then before last day, I try to look at the result, and then I can see if I have to push or I have to be calm. Because sometimes, for example, I see there is a big gap and I'm a winner. So if I will push, it will make a risk, and maybe, who knows what will happen. But if I see that there is nothing to lose and I'm like, someone is few points ahead, so I can push and I will do that. So, but usually I try to do it before the last day, but I don't know, you know, next year will be the World Shoot. So I will see, maybe I will change my mind about it. But right now, till the end, I'm not watching. Just sometimes if
you and Grant have very similar mindsets on that. Then you and Grant does the exact same thing, I believe, yeah. Right, Grant?
But you know, for example, if I know that I shoot bad, for example, Russian nationals 3 days, and it was real. It's a real story. So
how many stages over 3 days? So 3 days, how many stages?
24 stages.
24.
Like
okay.
This year it was 24. Yeah. Usually we do, I think, 24 in 2 days.
Was that in Yekaterinburg? Was that in Yekaterinburg? Where was this?
Yeah. It was in Yekaterinburg this year. Yeah. There were 24 stages, so 3 days of shooting, and I was training and I was ready for the match and so on. But after the first day, I was so nervous that I understood that I didn't shoot my shooting, and I did so bad that I realized that even right now I have to look at the result, because I have to know that how many points I've lost. So how much do I have to push, you know? So this was only time when I did it, you know, and it helped me, because really I started a little bit somewhere to be careful, somewhere to push where I can. And at the end I did second, but really after the first day, I was thinking that I won't be at the podium because I did so bad. And it was such a stupid mistakes. I didn't even realize how I could do them. So it happens sometimes. And sometimes our rules and ourselves, we have to change them, you know, because if I won't look at the results from the first day, so I don't know what to do in the future, you know, like next 2 days. So that's why
so
sometimes
basically to build the game plan, you kind of like, I have to.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's why I was just about to say. So you guys, you know, you and Grant primarily shoot a lot of stages in a big match. Would your mindset change at all if you had a 10 to a 12 stage match, like that was your entire thing and you shot it in one day? Because for us over here in America shooting USPSA, a lot of our sectionals and stuff are only 1 day matches, and they're usually 10 to 12. So like, what would your mindset be? Would it be different because you don't have a day 2 or a day 3? It's you show up and you got to shoot that day, or like how would you translate that to like a smaller stage match with like a USPSA style?
But you know, for example, right now, because of the COVID, we don't travel a lot, and we travel right now just inside Russia, and we have only few major matches where we have 2 days or more of shooting. And usually right now I shoot in Moscow, and we have small 12 stages matches. And I can't say, as for me, I can't say that something changed, like a match plan and stuff like that. Because for me, it doesn't matter if I shoot it 1 day or 2 days and so on. Of course, I can say that if you shoot it for a long time, it's more difficult, you know, really difficult. But also shooting 1 day match, it's also difficult because, you know, 12 stages, 1 day, and you don't have a second day to redo some mistakes. For example, if 1 day you have 6 stages, second day you have 6 stages. So for example, first day is terrible. So you're thinking, okay, so next day is the new story. So I start from the beginning and I will do it good. So it's, you know, all the time it's different. So I can say that the long story for a few days, it's hard, but at the same time, it gives you a chance to start from the beginning, to start a new day, you know, so with a good result. And this you don't have with a 12 stages in 1 day, for example. So it's different.
You got to have it or you don't, you know? Yeah. That's why I feel like I usually come out a little bit more aggressive. I don't really have my cruise control yet. You know, I've kind of just like said, I gotta do something out of the gate here to put myself in a good spot. So that's different.
But you know, in any case, you have to do your best. It doesn't matter if you shoot 2 days match or 1 day match. Try to do your best to concentrate on your shooting and don't speak with all your friends if you want to see the good result, you know, so something like this to make some
pay
rules.
Attention, Mike.
Yes, what advice would you give somebody that is mentally checked out after 2 stages? Let's say they had like a bad stage on their second stage of the day and they're just done. Like, what advice would you give that person with the rest of the match still left to go? Because I see that happen a lot.
Can you tell one more time? I didn't take the point.
No, that's all right. I said, so what would you tell a person who mentally will check out after like the second stage of the day if they come out and they have a bad stage, but they still have the whole match left to go and they're just done? They say that, oh, well, it's over, and they don't really try anymore.
They give up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I think every shooter had this feeling. Everyone. It's normal feeling. The only thing is, as I say, for me, for example, why do I shoot? I shoot because I enjoy it. I like people around. I like guns. I like stages, and all the atmosphere around makes me feel happy. Yeah, because it's my choice. So why do I have to be to give up just because of one mistake, even if there is like 12 or more stages ahead, and everything could be changed, you know? No one knows what's going on in the future. So that's why everyone has the same chances. And you just don't have a give up. And in any case, it's a good experience, first of all. So you know that sometimes happens like this, and not everyone, there is not even one person who wins every match. Sometimes you lose. It's normal, it's natural. So you have to know how this feeling, this loser feeling, you know, because you are not always a winner, and you have to know how to so
make a comeback.
So difficult. yes, make a comeback. So that's why it's a good experience, first of all, and everyone has to understand it.
But let's talk fitness a little bit. Because, so Maria, I met you when you were just a teenage girl. Yeah. And I've seen you really change and grow over the last few years. You've completely changed the way you look. You've been working out really hard, and it's totally different. So tell me what you're doing. What's going on with that?
You know, like nothing special. First of all, for girls, it's so easy to change, if to say the truth. Even if you're like me, yes, you cut your hair, you change the color of your hair, it's totally different. But in physical thing, I can say that you know, it's a combination of food, of your trainings, and so on, of everything. And even I just changed my mind totally. Absolutely. You know, how I look at some things, like usual things, not about even shooting or food or your like gym things and so on. Just absolutely, I changed my mind on all the stuff like that. And I can say that my life changed absolutely, even like a personal life, mostly in my family and with my friends. So, and this changes makes me change, you know. So, and that's all what I can say. But about the physical things, I can say that I train every day, and I made so much sports and different sports. For example, I do tennis, and I want to go to some competitions, you know, not a big one, not a major one, but still I want to compete and so on. So it's interesting. I do boxing, and I go to gym, and I try different stuff, and it makes me feel happy, and I like it. So just like this, you know, these changes are made. So
between shooting and all of your athletics, how many trainers do you have?
Not at all. For example, in shooting, I don't have a coach, and it's a pity because, you know, sometimes someone has to tell you your mistakes, because, for example, sometimes I can't see my mistakes. Yes, just feel it. But from the other side, some people can tell it. So it's a pity right now I don't have. And about the physical condition, I think in gym, I have one coach with whom I do boxing and gym. And then one coach in tennis. Like it's the major whom I see every time, like through the whole week, you know. And then sometimes if I add something, of course, I see someone else, you know. But totally, I can say that 2 coaches are my major, you know, and that's all.
Okay. And do you have
Go ahead. Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, for me, as I understand, in shooting, would be great to have not a coach, but a partner.
Yes.
For example, someone with whom I can compete during during the training, you know, with whom I can like see the time difference, like what he did or she did better, or me or I did better, and who also can tell me like, Maria, this was bad. I think it's better to train, or you have to pay attention to this. So something like that. But
that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, you don't have somebody at your range that you're like, hey, I don't know how it is over there in Russia, but like, you know, I like, even if I don't have like a GM PCC shooter or a GM open shooter that shoots with me regularly, I could still, you know, there's a lot of people can tell you just, you know, generally, as long as they kind of know what they're doing, they can say, hey, you're doing this wrong, or this doesn't look right. So I was gonna say, like, you don't have anybody over there. Like, how is it in Russia to go to the range? Like, is it something where you can just call your buddy and be like, hey, let's go to the range and we're gonna work on some things? Or,
you know, it's different. I don't know how it works in the USA, but here we don't have how to tell you. We don't have lots of shooting ranges. You know, the weather in Russia is quite strong, cold, so on. So that's why mostly we have indoor ranges. And because they're not so big and there are not many shooting bays in the shooting ranges, and it's quite expensive for Russia to shoot. So that's why the time when you can come to the shooting range is just a tiny, small, not a lot of time. For example, mostly shooters go to shoot, I think, 2 or 3 times a week by 1 or 2 hours. It's the maximum.
Even you, they don't let you train specially.
You know, right now, for example, I make a break a little bit. I want a little bit to have a rest from shooting. So right now, for example, I don't change, but I remember the time that in my home shooting range, there were not empty spots to shoot, because all the time came shooters who come first time or who train all the time, who pay money. So the time was full, you know, and you even don't have a time to make your own training, because we had just two shooting galleries. And
at
right
the
now,
object?
for example,
was that at the object? No, okay.
No. Yes, and right now we have more galleries, so of course there is more time to shoot, but still I think step by step it also will be full, so it's quite difficult. And the object, it's a good shooting range, but it's so far. I mean, the Moscow is a huge megapolis, and there is terrible traffic. And for example, for me to go to object, it will take 2.5 hours to get there, and then you'll have to get back about 2 hours, and still you have to spend
on your driver.
There. But you know, here it's really terrible. You can't even understand. Once you have to come to Moscow, you'll understand what I'm speaking about. So, and that's why still there you have to spend some time, and it makes like you spend the whole day just to train like 1 hour or 1.5 hour in object, and you're like, oh my god, like it doesn't worth it. So that's why people usually try to find a shooting range which is close to their home or their work. And also about the price is a big question, you know, where price is better. So they try to see the balance in price, in time you spend in the shooting range and to the shooting range. So like this, you know. And in Russia, you can't say just like, hey, I can't say, for example, hey, Kita, let's go tomorrow at 2 at the shooting range and we'll shoot lots of guns. No,
when you come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you have first of all to call to the shooting range and ask like, hello, me and my friend, we want to come, we want to shoot like, for example, 2 hours. And they will tell us, okay, but you know, tomorrow it is full, but like next week we can go, or
that's crazy.
And stuff like this, you know. So you just can't say, let's go and go to shoot. No,
you got to plan it like way ahead. Okay.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now, when you're getting ready for a match, obviously you're taking a break now, but when you're getting ready for a match, how is your training regime like? Do you make that effort to get to the range and train 3 times a week, or do you mainly just do more dry fire?
She's just naturally a boss, you know. That's just how it works. She just kills it.
Yeah, look, about also the good question about the dry fire. I like to dry fire, yes, and I like these thoughts that everyone are saying it's very important. It's really important, but you have to be the most important thing. You have to be sure that you dry fire correctly. I mean that all your techniques are correctly, because mostly people, for example, they were at the shooting range, they tried something new, they learned it, and then they go home and do a dry fire, and there they did some they just don't realize that they have some mistake. For example, something changed, yes, a coach at the shooting range, he saw the mistakes, he told it to a person, but when the person come home, he doesn't see himself from the sides, so he can't say he's doing it right or correct or not correct. And mostly people come home and then they start to dry fire, and just to remember their mistake, which they don't see, but the coach could see, you know. But you can't come with your coach at home. It's good if your coach is your wife or husband, you know, you're lucky. But in another case, it's a little bit complicated. So that's why you have to, you know, I think the dry fire is a good thing if, for example, you have a coach with whom you train all the time. And for example, after a few classes at the shooting range, when he knows that you do, for example, transitions or I don't know, something like this correctly, so you can come home, you can go home and train it by yourself. But without control of the coach, if you train alone or you are not sure, or you just came to the shooting range, you had one lesson about transitions, and then you come home and try and start to do transitions, I think that mostly you will make a mistake, and then you will come back with the mistake, and everything will not go correctly, you know. So you won't receive a good result in a shorter time, you know. So it's very difficult, complicated thing with the dry fire. You have to be sure you do everything correctly. Only after this you can do it.
Grant, why don't you tell Maria what we've done for your dry fire training?
What, the online video coaching?
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, what you're saying is exactly that. You can bring your coach, use the phone and actually dry fire in front of your coach, and they can pick up the mistakes. So that's what me and Kita have been doing. Most people, I find, they let their grip go. Most people, because the gun's not recoiling. So that's what I see most of the point. But yeah, when me and Kita do the dry fire video, she picks up a lot that even in live fire, I don't even think I would have picked up on. So it's been actually a great help.
So that's good. We're lucky we live in the 21st century, that we have such things like as a phone and Wi-Fi where we can see each other even from the totally different sides of the world, and speak and teach and so on. So that's great.
What's really funny is when he sets up his camera only facing him, even when he's shooting live.
Yeah,
you tell her. You tell her.
Well, yeah, when you do something, you're like, you did something wrong, but you didn't think that she saw it. She couldn't have seen it because on the other side, like, you did that wrong. I know. I was like, how did she do that?
Yeah, so I can't even see the targets. I'm just seeing his manipulations with the gun and where his eyes are going. And I'm like, that was a Charlie on the left. And he's like, how did you know that? You didn't even see the target.
Yeah, exactly. So it does help. And I think it's underutilized quite a lot. Like, because it's like, okay, well, I'll just dry fire by myself, but there are people that you can call that can actually do a video dry fire with you. Even if it's not Kita, even if it's like your friend, just like, I need some help on this, and you can set up a video call and you can actually do that.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's more fun.
Yeah. Yeah, to have your buddy to dry fire together.
Is it fun, Grant, when Kita tears you apart about everything you're doing?
No, that is not fun. Getting tethered. It's also
so much fun.
It's that nerves as well, because when you're by yourself, you don't have those nerves. You're the winner because you're the only one who showed up.
There's no pressure.
But yeah, when someone's watching you, even if it's your friend, there's automatically pressure.
So Maria, why don't you tell us about all your sponsors?
But I don't have I have a Fireline sponsor, but I can say that even I'm a sponsor of myself because I'm a co-owner of the shooting range. The name is the Fireline.
Awesome.
Yeah. So that's why we have like a small shooting team, and I coach there in my shooting club. And also I'm just like a co-owner, so that's great bonus.
So wait a minute. All this stuff about trying to get on a waiting list, you don't have any of that. You own the range. The schedule is always open.
Yeah, of course for me the doors are always open, but it's not like mostly it's not just about the competitions and about like shooting for me, like a trainings. There are lots of people who live in Moscow who want to come, and people who want to pay money to come to shoot. So that's why I just can't say like, hey guys, I want to shoot today, just you will wait next day. So it doesn't work like this. So that's why of course the doors are always open, but of course, we are thinking also about our clients who are coming, who wants also to try shooting and maybe to join the IPSC. So we are looking for that, and it's okay, that not always I have to go to the shooting range, because sometimes you have to relax from shooting and to change something, So better to have it like in how to say that in the correct way, like some time of shooting, some time of spending with friends and so on, not only shooting like 24 and 7. Yes, a balance. Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm.
Now I know a few years ago
what you've done is you've made your passion your work though. So aren't you afraid that you'll just hate shooting because now it's work?
No, it's no, I can't say that I hate shooting or I
Or
will
in the
hate shooting, because
future?
it's
Yeah.
yeah, no, but I can say that, for example, right now I take a break from my own trainings, because I don't know why, but last month I think I have so much personal trainings, like personal coaching, and I'm really tired of it. I mean, I spent a lot of energy, and that's why I don't have energy for myself. So I was thinking like, okay, I'll take a rest, because even if I don't shoot, but still when I come to the shooting range and I train some people, it's still like equal as I shot by myself, you know, because I spent lots of energy. I was in the shooting range. So you know, that's true that I'm a little bit tired in total because too much shooting, but for sure I like it, because like it's half of my life, and I really enjoy doing this. So I hope it won't happen, you know. Till right now it's okay.
I remember a few years ago when you taught your first class and you were like, Kita, how do you do this every weekend?
Yeah,
So
that's
it's
true.
been kind of a long road for you to get to this point.
Yeah, but you know, for example, about master classes, for me, it's for sure not, never again, because it's I looking for some students who wants in progressive way. For example, they have point A and they want a point B, and we step by step are going to the point B. For me, it's maybe more interesting, you know. But the master classes, they took so much energy that I was like, I was so tired, and I understand that it's not for me at all. You know, so many people, even if when you coach, when someone comes to me here in Moscow and I coach someone, it's still, for example, one person, and it's personal. And when there is a lot of people, a huge crowd, and you have to pay attention to everyone, and it makes me, my brain feels like, boom, you know, boom. So no, it's not for me for sure. I really respect, Kita, your work, like how you do it. I don't realize how you have energy for this.
I love it. To me, it's very rewarding. The same way it's rewarding for you to do an individual lesson for a couple hours, it's rewarding to me to take a small group and see them all progress. I get 8 times the reward.
Yeah, that's true.
So any other training tips you want to share with us?
But maybe you want to ask me some, like any.
I want to ask a thing. Okay, so you don't change guns, you shoot production only, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see the value in taking a gun that's harder to shoot, to train with, to pick up your competition gun and make it seem easier to shoot?
What do you mean? Like that's
like you should have shadowed
yeah.
two in competition, doing the training for one day with like a Glock, which is harder to shoot, and then pick up the Shadow 2 to make it easier.
No. No, never. I never do. And also, you know, sometimes when I come to the shooting range or before the competition, and some guy, for example, comes to me with some, I don't know, STI or something like this, and asking me like, Maria, I have a new gun. Do you want to try to shoot? Like, for example, before or during match, I will never try. And I will tell him, I will, but later. Let's, for example, after the competition, we'll see each other and I'll try. Because, you know, those differences, it's good if the gun would be worse than yours, for example. But, you know, sometimes it's really good. And sometimes, you know, your recoil is different. The grip is different. The trigger is different. And even when you shoot it few times, your mind changes a little bit. So before the competition and during competition, you have to, your hands and your brain has to remember only how your gun feels, how you shoot with it. Because even a small thing, for example, you took a gun from your friend, you did some shots, and you remember that trigger and so on, and you come to the competition and there was a long distance plate, for example, and you could not hit it just because, for example, that gun had more strong trigger and you just pulled it very in a hard way, your trigger, I mean, and that's all. It's a things which maybe at the beginning, you have to try everything. When you'll try to do this, you'll understand. But after those years which I shoot, I realized that I can't try different gun. Even the same, for example, if I have my own Shadow 2 and my friend has also Shadow 2, I will never take his Shadow 2 to shoot before and during the match. I will take just mine for dry fire, for everything. Because even if we are speaking about the same Shadow 2s, yes, two Shadow 2, but their triggers are different. Like little bits, but you feel the difference, and it could make a mistake, or so it's really the point that you have to pay attention to and try not to try different guns before the big match if you want a good result. If it's just for fun and you don't care, so it's okay. But if you want something, so try not to do this.
That sounds like a difference between iron sights and dots, though. I feel like if I picked up my other buddy's PCC that had a dot on it and I shot it for a while, it wouldn't really affect what I was doing if I picked mine back up. But I guess if you're shooting iron sights, those little differences can be the difference between an alpha and a delta. So that makes sense. Yeah.
Maria, tell us about your travels. You've traveled to a lot of really interesting places. What was your favorite?
I think that's true. I traveled all over the world in different places, and I can say I would be happy, like really happy, to go back to the South Africa. I don't know why.
You don't have to say that.
That's where Grant is from.
I've been trying to avoid South Africa. I mean, my God, it sounds very strict there.
Yeah, but it was fun. The country was unusual for me. The match was cool, and it was so difficult, and really I liked the atmosphere, everything. Like, it was a really cool experience. This was just such a bright point in my memory, South Africa.
Well,
yes,
maybe
also,
next time. Maybe next time I go, we'll see each other there.
Yeah. I hope so, because really it was very cool experience. I liked it. And also maybe in the USA, I was just few times. It was also cool experience, but for me it was difficult because I've shot USPSA matches, and usually I shoot IPSC matches, and those small difference, but they also make me feel a little bit nervous, and unusual. So, but I liked the USPSA matches, and I like the way, how people deal with each other. I mean, I think in the IPSC in Europe or in Russia, it's more maybe aggressive, like the range officers are wants to see some mistakes and say like stop, like, or something like this, to make you feel like your life is under his hands, like something like this, yes, something like this. And in the USA, when I was there, I felt that it's a different story a little bit, that they are like the range officers, they are like friends, like a buddies who wants to help you to go through the stage, who wants you to help to do it in a safety way, if you do even some small mistakes, he will come and will tell you, hey, you did like something was wrong like this, just pay attention to this, yes, like next time it could be worse or something like this. And in Europe it's different, and I liked how people are connecting there with each other, because in the Europe, like everyone are
very serious.
Yes, very serious, like he did like this, I have to do another game plan, or I made such a great game plan in my head, but I won't tell him, like he couldn't know that, something like this. In the US it's different, So it was also a great experience to see how it works.
I did see a lot of mind games going on in Europe when I was there. It's very subtle. They don't just, they're not attacking each other or anything. They do it very subtly, just to get in your head a little bit.
Just 1 second, Kit. I didn't hear you. Give me a second. Yeah. So now I'm with you. I've lost the battery. So can you repeat one more time?
Oh, okay. So as I was saying, in Europe, I did see a lot of the mind games, but they do it very subtly. So it's not overt aggression or anything like that. They'll just plant a little seed in your head that makes you question yourself. Have you seen that quite a bit too?
That's perfect. That's my version of trash talking. I love that. Like, you don't want to be mean about it, but if you just make them think about what they were about to do, you know, that could screw you up.
Right.
I think it's great. So yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, when you come to the US, don't come to Wisconsin where I live, because it's basically Russia.
Really?
We have so much snow.
Oh my God. But yes, I remember your photos maybe like a few years ago when it was November and you were like this in snow, you know, like so much snow. Yeah. That's cool.
We'll hang out somewhere nice, somewhere warm.
No, that sounds like a perfect opportunity for a snowball fight, but that's just me who's never seen snow in his life. So,
Maria, do you have a manager?
No.
I'm just curious. No, you do everything yourself?
No. Yes, I do everything by myself. Yeah.
That's impressive. I know a lot of people in the US have a manager who sets up all of their publicity and everything. Your videos are really, really high quality.
Thank you.
Who does your videos for you?
Maybe 1 year ago when I wanted to do something new, like I was so much in love in different videos. So I have a friend who had a professional camera and who did those videos. I just told him like, hey, can you help me? I want to do some videos. So he did it for me. But then, it's a little bit a difficult story, because sometimes he doesn't have time, I don't have time, and it was quite difficult to connect, to make some stuff like this. And then I understand that I have a phone, and right now it's so easy to have a good quality of video, to tell the truth. So I'm just telling my friends or someone to make a video. And then the most important thing is how you, after you make some videos, then in some program, you have to make from them a nice product. So this is the most important thing. Yes. When you know how to work it, so it's done, it's good. Even some terrible video, you can make like good looking one, something like this. So right now, my friends, my family are doing videos for me, and I'm just edited them.
You do the editing yourself.
Yes,
it's very good.
Myself. Thank you. Thank you. By myself, I'm doing it. Yeah.
I just put together a promo video it's actually the intro for this podcast. And I was so frustrated. It took me like all day. It was so embarrassing to piece everything together in a way that kind of makes sense. I had no idea what I was doing. So hopefully you guys like it.
Yeah, but it's the same. For example, when the shooter comes at the shooting range, at the beginning, for him even to make a first shot from the holster, yes, it's so difficult. There are so many things to do, like hands are working, trigger is working, your eyes have to see the targets and so on. But then in 1 week, he's doing it easily. So the same thing, it works the same, like more things he will do like this, so it will be easier. And that's all.
Yeah, it's been fun though, learning how to do it. Kind of gratifying. So Mike, did you want to talk a little bit about our show sponsor?
Yeah, no, we just wanted to thank DaVinci Machining for sponsoring our show. It's the most reliable PCC on the market. If you're in the market for a PCC, check them out at davincimachining.com. Thank you.
Grant, did you have any other questions that you didn't get answered that you wanted to ask Maria?
Well, one of the things, where do you see IPSC going, Maria? Do you see, because there's all that minor versus major and standard thing, because 40 is so hard to get for Europe. Do you think that's going to turn into 9mm only? Because then what's the difference between that and production?
You mean why do I choose production? Or like,
where do you see the sport going, kind of thing? Do you see standard falling away?
I think that sport, if to say the truth, is going to the PCC, production optics, so, and maybe production for the guns which are easy to shoot, less expensive, and give you good, how to say, good speed, which are not breaking a lot, you know. For example, open is, because I tried a little bit in open, and it's so complicated about the gun parts, about the ammunition and so on. It's expensive and very complicated, because with some ammunition or your open doesn't work. For example, we can't reload our guns, our ammunition. So it's very complicated. And I think the world goes to the dots. So that's why production optics, the easy gun, you know, for example, you took Shadow 2, you put the optics on it, you have production optics. And it's a fun, everyone can use it. Everyone loves the dot. You have any bullets you use, it works, and it's easy. And the PCC, you know, it's such a big speed, it's such a huge speed they're doing. Like you can shoot indoor, outdoor, handgun stages, and so on. So I think the sport goes to this. I think all those open 40 caliber, maybe step by step, they will go to the second plan, because it's not that comfortable, you know. More comfortable things they are progressive, I think so. We will see how it will go, but I think the easier things are going to be our future.
Something interesting I've seen. Oh, go ahead, Grant.
I'm seeing a lot more people when they join, they're just going into production optics. They're not even starting in production.
Yeah, because you got to aim with the irons, man. That's a lot of work, you know. Like, you just put the dot on it and hit the trigger. It sounds like fun.
Oh, you make it sound so easy. Like
something really interesting I've seen is that people who shoot production go and carry optics for a little bit, and you get so much feedback from the dot on what you're doing, just this immediate feedback, you know exactly what's going on, that people go back to irons and they actually get faster. Have you seen that at all, Maria?
You know, I didn't try, for example, production optics, unfortunately, but for example, I've shot a little bit with open, and I can say that it didn't help me at all.
Okay.
It made me a little bit, I can say that it was quite difficult, because first of all, because of optics, then you have totally different gun, the grip, the magazines, even your belt, the magazines are so close to your belly. I mean, they're ahead. So all the time I was doing a reload, I made a reload in my last match. I was like, what the hell, you know? It was so difficult for me to change. And at the end, I understand that, you know, I can't, for example, train so much with open, and it's quite expensive and difficult. So it's better for me to stay in production, you know. Maybe in the future, I would go to open, but right now I realize that production optics would be better choice than open, for example. It's the gun is less expensive and so on. Yes, yeah. So, you know, so for me, I didn't on myself, I didn't see this difference. Even with open, I shot slower than in production, you know, like, and I realized it. And the people around realized it, and I was like, oh. So it worked for me like this.
Okay, so what advice do you have for young girls coming into the shooting sports?
You know, I can advise to everyone, to every people that like it doesn't. I realize on myself, it doesn't matter how old you are, how strong you are, what's your like in total physical condition, where you live, and so on. If you have a pressure, if you have a goal, and if you want to have a result, you will get it for sure. You will go to your goal. You will have an aim. You will get it, and you will win. And like everything is real. So first of all, you have just to believe in yourself and to try to do your best. Really, I can say that everything could happen, everything works. So just never give up and try to do your best. For example, right now I have a girl whom I coach. She's just 10 years old, and she's shooting with 9mm, like with production gun. And I'm shocked how she's shooting. She is tiny girl, tiny, but she shoots so good and so fast. I remember myself when I started at 11, I wasn't like that. So she just has a pressure. She just has
the drive.
How to say,
she's got somebody to look up to, you know, she's got somebody to look up to in you. So that's partially where it comes from. I think that's what keeps the sport driving forward.
Yeah, and that's cool, you know, and I understand that right now, everyone, it doesn't matter, like, if you are tall or you are small and what age you are, it's everything is possible. So you just have to know this and never give up. That's all. That's my bigger advice, I can say, like, everything is possible.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Maria.
I'm such a jerk. I never even introduced you to Mike and Grant. I'm just like, Maria!
That's all right. It's okay.
Okay with that, yeah, like.
So this is Mike and this is Grant.
Hi, Maria.
It's nice to meet you.
To see you.
After this hour of conversation, it's very nice to finally meet you.
My bad.
All good. No, that was fun though. Thanks for
much.
coming on though. That was actually really awesome. And you know, all your experience in the IPSC and how good you are. That was cool to talk to you and see how you do things. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll definitely look forward to the next World Shoots, and hopefully I'll see you there.
All right.
I
Thank you guys.
hope you guys to see us all together at some match and shoot together. Maybe once we'll come to Russia. So that would be cool.
That would be fun.
That'll be actually pretty cool. That'll be awesome.
Yep.
I can throw a snowball at someone.
And I still remember a word you taught me last time I saw you. Aka.
Yeah. Paka. I was happy to be with you guys.
Or das vidanya.
Das vidanya.